Alright, here we are, we're back.
Yay.
Yeah, session 60, woohoo! Bit of a later start
9
today,
sessions to go.
but yeah, man. That's gonna be our beach episode. Yeah, so how's everyone doing? You've got drinks and water,
Good.
and
Drink.
stay hydrated. You know, water is the key to a good working mind, and you're going to need it in this fight.
What
So
about Pepsi Max?
that has some water in it, so good job.
Yeah, that means it's water, right?
Yeah, it's exactly. Yeah, if it has some water, it's water. Like, that's why I drink bodies.
I mean,
Moving
isn't
on.
pure water, isn't pure water like poisonous or something anyway?
Oh, like distilled water. It's not poisonous. It's just like electrolytes is what we get. Like, we get a lot of like use out of electrolytes in water. So just drinking pure distilled water will just mean we'll piss it out and not get anything out of it.
Yeah, I think you'll eventually die if the only water you get is distilled.
Yeah, because it's completely
Perfectly distilled.
Yeah. Because no water in nature is like perfectly distilled.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure there's probably examples, but anyway, this isn't a science podcast. Right, yeah, let's get started then. So last we left off, quite calm music for the situation that we're in at the moment, but Clive 5 entered the Frostbleed Peaks to join up with the Frostbleed clan, Roxxon's family, who you discovered had been becoming more skeptical about the influence of the giants over the magic circles in this region. And upon speaking to Arnax, you discovered... I'll just do this for now. You discovered that at this magic circle that you went to, Mag Soral, there was a corruption which was much more obvious than at the other circle that Arnax told you about. As you walked closer to the circle, the ground sort of bulged up slightly with some sort of shadowy negative energy type deal, and Arnax basically said that you guys needed to lure it out so that you could kill it, and then he could try and purify the circle. So that's what happened. Mona lured it out, and it was this creature made from shadows and sort of swirling black energy who attacked you. And this is what's happened now. That as even more sort of smaller white shadows have spilled out of the gap during the fight, whilst Arnax is holding his hand up to one of the stones and muttering under his breath an incantation, which is you can see through nature magic, turning the stones green with these ancient druidic sort of scripts all across them as trying to heal it. So it is currently Morna's turn. If I remember correctly, Morna actually just did a bunch of damage.
Yes.
Yes. So she's done 3 attacks so far.
I'm not sure if she tried to stun it, and if that failed, or it was immune, or what.
Let's have a look. Did she try and stun it? Okay.
She's not down any key, so unless you can see con saves on its part in the chat.
Yeah, no, it hasn't done any con saves, so it'll do how many con saves? Just
let's go with 3.
Okay, 3. It's very good at con saves.
I expect so.
29, 18, and 22.
Okay, I think those are all good.
Okay, and then Morna's run back
Yes.
to her original spot. Can she? I can't remember also if she did a Constitution saving throw at the start of her turn.
I think she started her turn out here.
Yeah, no. So I've done the maths on it, and I've put an aura around it. And she is actually within.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, she is within the thing, the circle. So yeah, she makes a con save for me.
Okay.
And so is Gira. Okay, so that is a fail. No, not yet. Or just at the start of your turn. So that is 14 necrotic damage to Morna.
Okay.
Okay, and so that's the end of her turn?
Yep.
Okay, yeah. So this sort of shadowy figure gets struck a few times, more like bashing, known pressure points on the creature's body. But just because it's made of this sort of immaterial smoke and sort of energy, that she's just not really getting anywhere that can stun it. Right, Nightwalker. Start of its turn. It gets its legendary actions back. I'm just gonna roll. Gonna roll a dice. Okay, doesn't get that back. Right, it's going to attack Roxon and Scrimshaw with its enervating focus. Roxon, that's a 28.
Yeah.
And Scrimshaw, that's a 27.
I believe I used shield since last turn.
Yes.
So that's a miss.
Okay, in that case. Right, Roxon, that is 40 necrotic damage.
14, 1-4.
40.
Oh.
40.
Oh.
Excuse me.
Excuse me, bitch.
And can you make a Constitution saving throw for me, please?
Yeah. Oh god, this is going wrong.
Oh god.
Oh, nice. Okay, that's fine. Your hit point maximum isn't reduced by that then as well. So, okay, and then that's it for his turn. All right, Scrimshaw.
Okay. Scrimshaw is going to do the same again. He's going to try and banish, though there's other targets, so he's going to try and banish the big boy and also the closest of these things.
Okay.
So charisma saves, please.
Okay. All right, so they both got 5.
Okay,
so
those both failures.
The Nightwalker is going to use its second legendary resistance. Legendary action, or resistance, whatever it is. And this one's gone. Yep. All right. So that creature is dissolved by your banishing energy, but the creature you are fighting at the moment, you recognize that something about its sort of makeup has created this sort of barrier that, again, it's managed to just dispel it.
Okay. That's it for me, I believe. I think I need to make a con save, though, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, I've clicked it. Ooh,
Okay, so you take 14 damage.
No, that's not so bad.
Okay, Roxon, make a Constitution saving throw for me, please.
Okay.
Okay, that's a fail. Take 14 necrotic damage.
Is that one? Sorry, is that 4-0 again?
No, 1-4.
Okay, sorry. I was like, I'm going to die.
Okay, all right. What did you want to do on your turn?
I guess hit it.
Yep. All right, make 2 attacks. First one hits.
Both. Yeah. I forgot to say hope. Yeah.
Yeah, I get you.
Okay.
So that's 30 damage. First hit, slashes into it. You manage just sort of your magical axe bites into its leg, and it sort of screams slightly as you wiggle your axe into it. All
Okay. Right. Second attack. I assume that hits again.
I'm just going to bring this guy back and move him over here because he's actually what the token is there. Second one hits as well.
Cool. Oh.
19
Italy.
damage.
Alright, did it make him vanish on the initiative?
Yeah, it's because that's the token that the initiative is based on. Okay, right. Is there anything else, Roxanne?
No.
Okay,
Good.
right, Gira. Can you make a Constitution save? Yeah, there you go. That's 14
Oh.
necrotic damage.
Okay. Hold on. I'm gonna do it in the fun way. Actually, I'm not gonna do it this way. Make 14. I'm gonna do mass cure wounds on the whole party and the monster because I can do 6
Oh, okay.
Ooh.
Spicy.
on the cast. And I'll do that at level 5. So that's 18 healing for everyone and 18 damage.
Brilliant.
If you want to say it to the
Cool. Yeah. You watch as this sort of healing wave shoots out of Gira, and the second it hits the monster, it sort of like clashes discordantly, almost like there being some sort of like matter antimatter sort of like explosion almost on its flesh, and it just takes a bunch of damage, and the outer layer of its shadowy form like, sort of spills out.
I only get 6 HP back because my max HP was lessened to 73.
Oh.
Yeah.
Have you upped yours, Roxon?
Sorry, what was that?
Have you upped your HP?
Oh, how much am I upping it? Sorry.
18 you gained. Yeah, I end my turn, and then.
Okay, cool. I end my turn.
I end my turn.
I end my
Let's come on,
turn.
face down.
Alright, Arnax is going to do a nature check.
My food's here. I'm just gonna be back in like 1 minute.
Alright, natural 1. Arnax doesn't make any progress. Right, all these swirling whites around there. Notice that Arnax has put his hand on the stones and is chanting under his breath, and they're all going to go for him. So that's going to be 10 grave bolts. Okay, that's hit, natural 20, hit. That's
Have they kind of moved up to Arnax for all these ranged?
these are ranged attacks, and they are sort of like swirling around the top of the thing. So that's going to be 9,
Shit ton of damage.
8. Arnax is looking really hurt. So yeah, all these bolts just shoot down on him as all the whites begin to like swirl around. Go here, 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 and here. Okay, and that's their turn. Alright, Gothric, make another con save for me, please.
Okay.
Actually, hang on, let me just check if it's con. It is a wisdom saving throw.
Wisdom save.
Yeah.
Fuck. I'm
Okay,
bad at those.
that is a fail. Also, can you also make me a Constitution saving throw? Hello. So when you
Wisdom and Constitution.
yeah, that's because the Constitution at the start of your turn for being when it's alright. That's also a fail. You take 14 necrotic damage.
40.
14.
Alright.
Richard, yeah, your mic's making a lot of noise.
Oh, weird. I think I might be leaning into the food.
But yeah, so when you were gone, Richard, all these whites just attacked Arnax, and Arnax is looking really hurt now.
Okay, so-
All right, so Gothric. So that's
getting cold.
okay. So that's the end of your turn. Sadly, because you are still paralyzed.
Wait, I didn't. Oh, fuck!
Yeah.
Shit! That's what that was, I forgot.
Yeah. All right, Morna. All right, Richard, you there?
I think he said he was taking a call quickly.
Okay. We can just wait a second then.
Yeah, might be talking to Japan.
Yeah. I think Mona will probably just do the same thing as last time. I'll just do con save for Morna, so she takes 14 damage. Okay, and then she'll go up. This is what she always does anyway, so attacks 3 times. They're 3 hits. 9 plus 2. $15 and 12. Flurry of blows. It's 21. Cool. What else? Oh yeah, and then another attack. That one doesn't hit. All right, okay. Monster's looking really hurt, and then she'll go back. Okay. Right.
Sorry, I'm back.
That's okay. I just did Morna's turn for what she would normally do. So,
she retreat the maximum distance that she could. Cool.
Okay, so the creature is going to roll a dice. Ooh, it gets another Finger of Doom. It's going to point its Finger of Doom at Scrimshaw. Can you make a Wisdom saving throw, please, Scrimshaw? Oh, that's a fail.
Excuse me, what?
When you roll a 20 and fail.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, DC is 21.
Ow.
I'm going to use a lucky point.
Okay.
I'm probably
people using lucky points? What's that about, Gothric?
What's a lucky point?
Shush!
No,
Okay. So you are feared and paralyzed.
Is that spelly cast?
No, it's a just an ability. As like dragons have breath attacks and stuff. Okay, and then you also take 26 necrotic damage.
Ow.
And he's going to attack you with an innovating focus.
Uh-oh.
That's 24 to hit. Richard? So 24 to hit.
Actually, let me check a sec, because it says 24 on my sheet, but I thought I had 25. No, it is 24. Yep, that just hits.
Alright, so that crits.
Yep.
Okay. So that's going to be plus another 5d8.
Oh no, Scrimshaw's gonna die.
That is going to be 50. That's a fucking shit roll. That's 50 necrotic damage. No, that's 60 necrotic damage.
I will reduce it by 9.
Okay, so that's going to be 51 necrotic damage.
You're welcome.
Yep. Still ow, but...
Also, can you make a Constitution saving throw, please?
Oh no. Oh no.
Oh, no.
Okay, so and your max HP is reduced by that amount as well.
Oh, no.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, this creature's looking really hurt right now.
Finish him!
Okay, Scrimshaw.
Is that a death save?
I'm starting to think my tactic of banishing has not worked out very well.
Well, you are paralyzed, so
Well,
you need to make
maybe
a
on it.
you need to make a Wisdom save and a Constitution save for me, please. Okay, so you take 14 necrotic damage, and you're still paralyzed.
Okay. I'm helping.
Okay, alright, Roxanne.
Feels rough, buddy.
Okay, I will attack.
Okay. That hits.
Bang.
Okay, how would you like to kill it?
Oh.
Yeah.
How would I like to kill it? I'd like to. First strike will hit the back of its knee to bring it to, down to its knees, and then I'm going to behead it.
Okay, so this lumbering monstrosity made of shadow and smoke sort of collapses to its knees as you like slash your blade across its like shadowy hamstrings, and as it brings its head down, it's like large horned like eyes look at you as you just bring your axe down, whoosh, cleave right through it. Its body immediately dissolves into smoke, but as it does, around you, these sort of shadowy tendrils like begin to transform into a sort of almost some sort of quicksand that begins to try and drag you underground. Well, Scrimshaw and Gothric are both paralyzed, so they'll fail.
Oh no.
Roxanne, can you make me a dexterity saving throw, please? Actually, no. This monster dying is going to. You're not going to be paralyzed anymore because he's dead. So you guys can get dexterity saving throws.
Oh no. Oh no.
Okay, so Roxanne, Gothric, and Scrimshaw, you begin being drawn underground by these tendrils, and you don't know what happens next right now. Like, you are being dragged underground, but that's going to take like a turn. So, yeah, Gira. Oh, and actually, you've got another turn. You've got another turn, Roxanne, actually. You are grappled currently. So,
Okay.
you've got another
Can
action.
I try and break the grapple?
Yeah, sure. Give it a go.
What's that? That's a strength.
So, yeah, just make an athletics check.
I just point out Roxanne has advantage because of danger sense.
That's true.
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
yeah, you would have advantage on the dexterity save.
Oh, so.
Oh, yeah, so you did pass it in the first place, alright.
Okay. Okay, cool. I will. What is it in an area?
It's literally just like in this. It's actually more like coming out of the ground at the three of you rather than like it being in a particularly like defined area.
Okay, I guess I'll just move over to here.
Like, are the Wraiths still around?
Yeah, they're still around.
I can make another attack, can't I?
Yeah, this one's 20 feet up in the air.
Oh. I'll have to swing the axe around my head. No. I'll just wait here then.
Okay.
My turn.
Right, Arnax is going to do another nature check.
Wait, hold on. Am I gonna have my turn?
Oh yeah, sorry. Go ahead. Yeah, sorry. It was on your turn.
I'm gonna move here and use Channel Divinity Undead.
Right.
I hope these are undead.
Okay.
I mean, they're negative creatures, so I'm guessing kind of.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
I'm gonna try it anyway.
Yeah,
so
give it a try.
I'll hold up my kind of key thing. I mean, I don't have to do anything. I don't think that.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
You
fine.
have to do.
So they need to do a
You just have to
wisdom. Is it a wisdom saving throw?
Yeah. 30 feet, so all of them are in range. I checked it.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. How many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's. Are there only 4 within range? Oh
They're
no,
all in range.
they're all in range. Yeah, so 5. All right. Natural 20, 19, 14, 20, 21. So
What?
yeah, well they have actually fairly decent like wisdom, but so one of them fails,
so-
I assume.
Yeah.
All right, so this one, what CR is he? What CR do they have to be under? Level CR2 is it? It's to despair.
It doesn't specify. It doesn't specify.
No,
Actually, I'm sure it
yeah,
does.
it
I'm
definitely
being
does.
blind, Sorry.
Channel Divinity. It is turn undead.
It just says running away.
Each undead that... What?
It just says running away, basically, as much as it can. It doesn't specify just disappear if it's below like 2.
Yeah, but there is destroy undead as well.
I don't think I have that.
No, you do. At this level, you do.
Yeah, at 5th level you get
from
it.
fifth.
Okay, so it's what level are we? 11. Yeah. All right, so they're not destroyed, but this one is feared. That was a good,
And
good
then I'm
try.
going to use my bonus action. Yeah, creative. And then I'm going to use my bonus action to do a quick healing word onto Arnex at level 3.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Cool.
So that's
10
health for Arnex.
Okay, so Arnex heals up a bit. All right. All these creatures.
Arnax's turn first.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
Well, it was Arnex's turn, so he's still doing nature checks. So you watch as a couple of the couple of the circles begin to glow green. So this one, this one, this one, and this one.
You say green.
Like, so this green, like, Celtic writing begins to glow on it. And it's like clearly like Arnax channeling his power into the stones to try and combat this like negative energy.
Okay.
But that's all for him. Right, so these creatures, upon seeing this get killed, these creatures are going to begin to start to isolate their damage a little bit. This one's running away. Then 3 of these are going to attack Arnax. And one of them is going to attack you, Gira. Okay, so that's 9, 9, 9, 20, 24, 15. So the first 3 9s actually miss Arnax, believe it or not. And then, what's your AC, Matt?
16.
Okay, so that's 2 hits. On you, so that's 10 necrotic damage and 6. So 16 in total.
16, so yeah.
Okay,
I'm just having a quick think, sorry.
that's okay.
Bear with. Is it this? You can use your... No. It's only within 5 feet. Okay, don't worry. You tell me. Okay, 16. Alright.
Okay, so Gothric, yeah, you're currently being dragged underground by these hands, or these sort of like grasping, sort of like shadowy vine tentacle type things. What are you doing?
Trying to get out of the tentacles.
Okay,
Tentacles are never fun.
make an athletics or acrobatics check for me. Your choice.
Hang on. They're both the same, but I'm a dex fighter, so I'm gonna try acrobatics.
Okay, you just managed to crawl out of it.
Okay, was that an action to try and get out, or
That was an action.
Okay. I guess second wind,
Okay.
because I can't action surge right now. So that's 1d10 plus fighter level, right?
Mm-hmm.
Slash 1d10 plus 17 HP back.
Okay.
Woo.
Awesome.
And that'll be my turn.
Okay, cool. Alright, Morna. Is Richard back?
Okay, so
Okay, cool.
how tall are these pillars?
Probably 15 feet up, I'd say. They go 15 feet high. But anywhere between 10 and 15.
Would it be feasible for Morna to run up to sprint over, run up this pillar, jump off, and hit this one?
Yeah, monk shit.
Okay, then she would like to do that.
Yeah, if she makes a acrobatics check for me while doing so. I know she can run up it, but like jumping off and attacking is all generally quite acrobatics. Alright, that's absolutely fine. Yeah, she can get her checks off.
Alright, nice. Frosty fingers.
Okay.
Blam.
Oof.
Okay, right, 2 hits. Okay. Alright, that one's dead. Yeah, so she runs up, goes across, and smashes down, lands on the ground.
Okay. And I think that's it for her.
Okay. Again, this creature is back over here now. Okay, Scrimshaw. Yeah, the ground around you hasn't tried to reach out for you again. You don't know if it's settled down or whatever, but it seems to be now back to how it was before. As last traces of the shadowy creature that you fought has basically disappeared now.
In that case, I'm going to move away from that area.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And I don't know.
They are 20 feet in the air.
Range. I am going to just chuck out a scorching ray on the one closest to me.
Okay. Hits. Okay, that is cool.
23 fire damage total.
Okay.
If it's not resisted.
Alright, it's not quite dead, but it's close.
Okay, and that's it for me.
Brilliant, okay. Right, Roxanne.
I will throw a javelin at the one above me.
Okay. You can't do Great Weapons Master on javelins.
No, I know, yeah,
okay.
just ignore it. I'll turn it off.
Yeah, that hits.
Okay, I will turn it off quickly. Just ignore the...
Okay. Yeah. That's 9 piercing damage, okay. Yeah, the javelin goes up and sort of just brushes past it. So there's a bit of damage, not too much.
No, well, I'll just go stand by Arnax and defend him, I guess.
Okay. Alright, Gira.
I'm not going to use any level 3 slots. I'm going to throw a chromatic orb lightning at the at one of the rafts, and then I'm going to use what's it called? My destructive wave, destructive wrath. What's it called? Channel divinity. Which means that
is that the one that maxes out the damage?
Yeah. When rolling lightning or lightning damage, it maxes out the damage instead of rolling.
Yeah.
So,
just remember to keep track of your channel divinities.
Yeah. I've used 2.
Okay.
I know. I've got a list. It's fine. And I'm only going to do it at level 2. This.
Okay. Which one are you targeting?
The one that's far away, because likely people haven't hit it much.
Okay. That hits.
Cool. And then the damage will be level 2. So the max of that, so D8 and then 3D8, so 4D8, so 32.
Okay, it's dead. Yeah. Bonk. Yeah, you shoot out this chromatic orb with lightning damage. It just zaps it. And it sort of collapses into shadow again.
Quite a good combo. Oh, by the way, because that is one of the spells I got from my sorcerer thingy. You can bear in mind the wild
oh yeah, that's if you wanted advantage. I'd make you roll.
No. Also, it also hold on a minute. Sides of chaos. Well, Magic Surge. Once per turn, your DM can ask you to do a 220 immediately after you cast a sorcerer spell of first level or higher.
Actually, roll a 20. Roll a d20. And if you roll a 1, then we'll roll on the Wild Magic Surge too.
Turns into a potted plant.
Yeah, nothing happens.
So just remember that if I do chromatic orb.
Yeah. Okay. Brilliant. Yeah. So like this energy begins to just course through you, and this shot of lightning just shoots out of you, and completely just obliterates the creature that's flying overhead. Right. Our next is. Was that your turn, by the way? At the end of your turn.
Yeah. That's
okay, cool.
How's Arnex?
He's looking a bit hurt. Like.
Okay. I think.
But you've healed him a bit, so.
Yeah, I'm gonna call it. I'm just gonna say it's fine.
Okay. These two creatures are going to swoop down.
Arnex's turn, isn't it?
Yeah, it is Arnex's turn. Actually, he needs to do a nature check. Okay, that's a good one. There's two more. So two more circles glow up. Right, and these two creatures are going to both swoop down at Arnax and life drain him. So that's going to be... Alright, 2 hits.
I can make an attack on the one near me, because they have Sentinel.
Okay. So he's going to take... is 17 damage, but because of his heal, he survives.
Okay, and I will make my attack.
Okay. That hits. Okay. Yeah, this one's dead.
Cool.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So this one has sort of life drained Arnax. Arnax looks really weakened from it, but because you managed to heal him, he's survived. Right, Gothric.
Patience is all out of ammo. Not patience, generosity is all out of ammo. So I pull out patience, and I'm gonna try and I'm gonna spend a point of grit for the first one for Deadeye shot, and just 3 sharpshooter shots at him, because why the fuck not?
Okay.
So the first one has advantage.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, I need to roll that again. Oh.
Ooh. Just hits.
That's -5 as well.
Oh, -5. No, doesn't
Just
it?
hit.
Doesn't
Hang on. You know what? Second point of grit for the second one as well. Okay, let me just put the advantage on.
Yeah, that's probably smart.
So yeah. So
okay, that
25 minus 5.
Yeah, that one hits.
So that's 8 plus 10.
Okay, yeah, that one kills it. You manage to shoot it, and it sort of evaporates away into sort of negative energy that just sort of lingers for a moment before vanishing out of existence. Alright, okay, I think that's the end of the fight. So you watch as Arnax, as you guys manage to fight off the last of the attackers, Arnax manages to focus, and the last couple of stones manage to light up, and you watch as there's sort of like geometric sort of fluid-looking hologram, almost like just sort of connects all of the circle, all of the stones in the circle, into sort of like a sort of like quite a beautiful picture, basically, which then immediately just closes up the circle. It's just. Hang on. Yeah. Okay.
Are we gonna have to do that at all the circles?
Arnax says, I'm afraid that this is only a temporary fix until we know what is causing the corruption, we will not be able to hold this corruption out for long. And when it comes back next time, it will come back stronger.
Oh.
So, what you're saying is more of those giant horned bastards?
Potentially, you never know what to expect. Sometimes it is. It depends on the kind of planes that are nearby at the time. It's a complex system to work out. But whatever that was, it was clearly reveling in the amount of life it could absorb into itself and destroy to sustain itself.
Evil boss.
Okay. So, what's the plan now?
Well,
Hello?
yeah, can you hear me?
Hello?
Yeah.
Oh, you hear me? Okay, cool.
Wait, did you want to say something?
Oh no, yeah, I did. Does anybody know the type of energy that creature exerted? It seemed to me that my healing was having some form of effect on it.
Why did you even try to heal it? Oh yeah, because Arnak said. I forgot. It gets kind of easy to forget things like this when you fight a being of pure shadow. It frightens you, paralyzes you with fear, and then tries to drag you on the ground with nightmarish dark tentacles.
Yeah,
My apologies.
Makes it almost feel like things that were 12, 18 seconds ago were actually a week ago.
I know, it's strange.
It's like time dilation.
So meta.
A dark matter, you'd say.
Meta.
Oh, I thought you said dark. I thought you were talking about Arnax. Sorry.
Oh no.
Does Arnax have a response to what?
Yeah, Arnak says there are. I figured I recognized the type of energy that it was giving off. Negative energy. Which is what I saw in the other circle when I looked into the corruption, that it seemed to be spilling in from the negative energy plane. I feel like that is no coincidence that all the circles in this region seem to be corrupted by the same type of energy.
Like the staff Gideon touched. And died immediately. And then he came back.
Where is that staff?
Yes.
Where is it?
Oh, Scrimshaw, do you remember? I don't. Again, nightmarish evil tentacles.
I mean, someone came and snatched it away before we could come back. Because we had decided to just leave it unguarded.
Oh, yeah.
Arnax, is there any history of negative energy in this region?
Well, maybe it has to do with the story of Ritan.
Ritan?
Ritan was the Goliath who unified the tribes into the Frostbleed clan 500 years ago.
Why do you say it has something to do with a Goliath that died many years ago?
Because this is the only time I've heard a story that even comes slightly relevant. Come with me. This isn't a safe place, but let's maybe find somewhere to make a camp for the night, and I'll tell you.
Can't you do that weird short walkie thing where you knew where things were and just get back to civilization?
I mean, it's quite high level magic. I can only do it. I can only do it.
I thought they
occasionally
liked you.
Nature does like me, but it also.
No, I mean that's the reason why you were able to do that. Never mind.
Oh, well, it might very well be the reason I can do it.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's head off. And he points over to down the road where you see a couple of giants walking down, and they haven't noticed you yet, but they seem to be quite large, hulking creatures that you've never quite seen anything like before. It's clad in this black armor with gold trim, and with bright orange hair and beards. And carrying massive, large, broadswords on their back that are about the size of maybe twice a normal sword. Arnak says, "It seems that they've been sent here to check out what's been going on here. Let's head off. We might have been spotted."
Roxanne, that seems like your opportunity, doesn't it?
No.
You just go take them both out.
No.
What was it you're saying on the way here? I could take on 20 giants all at once.
I took quite a big beating in that last battle. I think I should recover first.
Oh, I'm sure that's nothing. I'm sure that you could do it as a baby, in fact.
Look, I'm hungry. Okay, so
you're hungry.
I can't fight giants on an empty stomach, so...
You guys are still stood by the stone circle, by the way.
Should we get going?
Okay, let's
go. I think we should. Arnak sort of leads you back towards the mountains. He says, we are going to have to head west to Heaven's Falls. I fear that the corruption might have affected the Terrafolk. The Aarakocra, I should say.
What the fuck are Terrafolk?
How are they with outsiders? Are they generally welcoming, or?
They are generally welcoming. They follow a very traditional, way of living, but they are spiritual and caring, and they like to keep to themselves quite a bit. But,
weren't they the one that attacked that mammoth?
Well, that's what I'm concerned about. That maybe if the band has gone rogue, or even worse, if something's happened to the Aarakocra, they've made them go mad, or some sort of disease or something, then we need to check it out. But
it's the former, because latter sounds a lot more messy. But yeah, lead the way, I suppose.
Well, we won't get there tonight. It will be tomorrow at best. But let's and he takes you into the mountains for a few minutes, and after a while he says, "This seems like a good spot to settle down. I don't think the giants will come this far into the mountains."
Take your word for it.
Very well. If we all die horribly, I'm finding you in the afterlife and, I don't know, flipping you the bird. Making the rest of eternity hell.
How intimidating.
Yes.
He is actually that petty as well, so...
I am extremely petty, I will admit it. It's...
So something tells me, Gotherick, that the gods have different plans for both of us.
What does that even mean?
Well, you don't figure that we'll be going to the same afterlife, do you?
I mean, I've never been to the afterlife, so quite frankly...
I thought you have
weird considering how many times you've died.
I mean, I don't remember going to the afterlife.
Maybe there's nothing for you when you die.
That's a terrifying thought.
If I were you, I'd stop dying.
Welcome to the club.
Yeah, maybe that's something we should all take into consideration, that we should all stop dying.
That sounds smart.
You especially.
Shush.
So what do you figure happens when you die, then?
Well, in my culture, it's said that when you die, you meet Faxando, and he helps you get to the other side. Faxando's the lad who led us into the Grey Mountains in the first place, became a god.
It's an interesting story.
Yeah, involved in Elder Box, and now stuck in a mountain.
Seems unfortunate, but all mountains have souls and hearts. Maybe that's where the story of Thaxando comes from.
Maybe. I mean, our friend chatted with him once.
And he looks up, he says, "What?"
Yeah, our wizard friend. He asked him some questions and he got answers.
That's interesting. Must be quite powerful to be communed with.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't know much about that kind of stuff, though.
why not?
It's not my forte. Well, I've never really been taught it. I'm the guy who goes out and kills things with weapons, not the guy who chats with gods.
Have you not considered the fact that the gods might be very interested in talking with you? Especially if you are the chief of an orc, what is effectively a country now.
I mean, I did try praying to Thaxando, and he's never said anything. To me, at least.
Well, I don't suppose orc gods respond the same way that human gods would. Well, praying might be a good way of getting, the Pentasta to notice you, or something else. What would orc gods like?
Well, orcs champion bravery, honor, lots of killing. Lots and lots of killing. We're quite good at that. But also caring for your people.
Then how would you be able to get in contact with him if it was not for praying? How might you try that? Perhaps if your legends are true, discovering where he originally turned into the mountain might be a solution. If you wanted to contact him, find out where his soul rests, and you might be able to have more contact with him.
That might not be a bad idea. I'll keep that in mind.
It's an idea. As for the rest of you, you all follow different gods. What do you follow, Scrimshaw?
Not really much of a religious type myself. Though by the looks of it, from when we looked through that gate earlier, there may not be an afterlife waiting for me. Maybe that's why, but yeah, I've never really been the religious type. Wasn't raised that way. It was never really a part of my life.
There's no afterlife for us druids.
Oh, why is that?
It is just an agreement we make that we return to the soil once we're done with it.
So what happens to your soul?
Well, our soul is recycled, as all things in nature are. That we go on to be reborn on Earth. Well, on Earth.
Is there any way to tap into previous lives, or is it just...
There are ways, there are methods, but many druids don't dwell on the past, don't dwell on their past lives too much, unless there is something to be learned from them. Generally, we tend to have an idea about memories come through occasionally, but we have memories of everything in nature. Occasionally, I will wake up and I've dreamt of my past life as a bird or as a bear. Sometimes these things confuse me. Sometimes I wake up and I could be convinced that I've gone from one body to another.
I suppose you've ever had a past life as one of these?
Well, I've had plenty of opportunities in this life to be those, but As well, druids tend to just be druids in their past lives. But we have a sense of empathy with nature that many people don't have.
Would that mean you all have the same personality if you've all got the same soul? Or would you viciously disagree with a lot of your past selves?
Well, as long as our past selves are on the same path as us, I don't see why I'd have to disagree with them. And, you know, we've had plenty of time to iron out past differences.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
Not
what you said.
What's that?
No, we are all part of a cycle that is beyond our scope and control. Although I must admit I would say that the scope of our influence in the cycle far expands above the ceiling of the sky.
Would you care to elaborate?
It is said that great comets have fallen from the ceiling above and hit the ground before. Are they part of the cycle of nature that exists on this planet? Or are they something part of a much wider story above? I mean, just look up. And I don't know, is it like a cloudy night or is the sky, is the stars?
Make a perception check for me.
Look up, can you see above you?
Yeah.
What do you mean? Those are just like lights. You know, they're like little torches. There's nothing above the sky. It's the sky.
It's a fairly clear night. It's coming out of summer, so the first sort of glimpses of darker clouds are coming in on the horizon. But looking up in the sky, you're pretty sure that you can see like a sort of comet streaking by, like the occasional shooting star sort of like flashing above you.
See it?
He says, well, I suppose that's all part of the story I was planning on telling you. I suppose there's no better time to start than now.
Hmm.
500 years ago, the night sky was host to a burning fire. That points up to the sky and sort of like clicks his fingers, and you see for a moment magical sort of natural rune, like arcane glyphs shoot up in the sky and sort of take form into tiny little fireworks and explosions. Also then, a second sun sort of like appears in the sky, like cast by this sort of illusion. He says, these bright flashes of different coloured light, as well as this second sun, would illuminate the night sky as if the day had never gone away, and as if the night was afraid to confront it. It looked as if the gods themselves fought in the skies above us, with flashes of explosions. The druids, me in one of my past lives, considered this a bad omen, a sign of the end of days, and when comets began falling on these mountains, that confirmed our fears. It came in two stages. There was a fallen star which landed first, where the locked gate is today, and then a plague which killed off many of our kin. Your ancestor Ritan, Roxon, a chief, had become attached to this fallen star and had fashioned a sword from it. This sword had the power to help him unify the disorganized tribes of the mountains, and his power grew, defeating many giant tribes and fighting his way to claim all three of the circles. However, when the plague came, it didn't come like a regular disease. It seemed alive, and knowing where to target and what to consume. It didn't seem to care about loyalty, honor, women, or children, but only on consuming flesh, and took the form of a humanoid made of maggots.
Oh.
It.
Oh no! Oh no!
Let him speak.
Oh,
I.
yeah. We'll come back to that point.
Well, carry on.
It corrupted the lands as it conquered, and eventually forced Ritan to respond. He tried to make a deal with the creature, but it didn't seem interested in compromise, so the two fought. It was a struggle, but eventually Ritan overcame the creature and destroyed it using the power of the sword. Something about its design made the creature tremble in fear. However, a few weeks later, it returned, this time stronger. It seemed that it managed to learn and adapt from its weaknesses each time it was defeated. The next time they clashed, he needed his 7 honored guard to assist him, the strongest warriors in the tribe. And the time he came back after that, he needed an army. Ritan tracked the creatures home deep into the mountains while the battle raged around him, and he fought his way into the cave. Legends don't say what happened next, but when the battle was over, both Ritan and the creature lay dead. This time the creature lay dead for good, or so we thought. And his sword was plunged deep into some sort of machine. Both Ritan and the sword were taken to the original location of the fallen star, and he was the first to be buried there. It is said that his sword would protect the mountain, and if removed, the creature would return.
Oh.
So there was a sword in the mountain that, if removed, would cause this creature to return, is what you're saying?
Well, it is the sword. It is the sword made of the fallen star from these mountains.
Oh.
So.
You don't happen to know where that sword is, do you?
It is buried with Ritan in the Lock's Gate.
Of course.
Of course it is! Oh no!
No, out of character, just to be clear, is that's not near where we got the other sword in the mountain?
No.
Okay, they're not the same sword.
No, they're different. Different mountains, different legends, different stuff's gone on.
Well, it could be different legends, same sword. Happens sometimes.
Yeah, this was 500 years ago. The key in the mountain was from thousands of years ago.
I am troubled by this news.
This is an issue.
Yeah.
This is what the corruption in the circles reminds me of, the story.
We've met a man made of maggots
Hmm.
on our travels. This is why we are a bit concerned.
Working with the giants.
Potentially.
Hmm.
And again, the giants might be working against him. We never know.
Well, yeah.
I imagine the giants would not also enjoy being attacked by evil shadow creatures.
I'm starting to see connections between some of these events we have witnessed. If we recall, and may I provide a name to this figure? The maggot man called himself Ashen, and he was interested in procuring elemental lodestone. I see this, and potentially comet you speak of, that coincide with an event that certainly, if I could remember, would be dear to me. I fear there are connections, something larger at play going on.
What would he need an elemental lodestone for?
Elemental
We didn't really get the chance to ask it. Well, we did, he just didn't really give us much of an answer.
And you fought him?
Yep.
Yes, and won.
And then he came... Apparently he came back.
Yes, indeed. I had a vision. He coalesced in the middle of a clearing, taking the essence of a man to feed his abominable nature.
This is worrying news. If the giants are working with this Ashen figure, That would explain what this storm is doing. What this storm is over Dinas Tarar. It could be the mountain where the creature was originally fought and killed.
But I
So what
see
you're saying
that-
is we also need to kill giants now.
Well, there was
I
always a
think we
possibility.
should potentially see this as an opportunity and a positive rather than a further problem. For we had no way of dealing with Ash. If we were to assault Dinas Tarar and were met with Ashen, it would certainly spell our doom. However, if we can find a way to procure and retrieve this cosmic sword made of the comet matter, we might stand a chance.
I think this means we need to look through the locked gate, right?
That would be forbidden. No one is allowed to go into the locked gate unless they are dead.
Well, Goffrey, you're the expert in this situation.
I have died many
Well,
times.
He technically... Is he still technically dead? Or is he just undead now?
Well, what's the wording of the rule? Is it those that have died? Because that would allow... How many... Is it everyone but Roxanne and Gira?
I've not died.
I'm not sure Morna's died either.
Do we have to kill you guys and then bring you back?
You can try.
Hold on.
This does seem against the spirit of the rule, though.
I think it's more of just a rule for the safety of those going into the locked gate, rather than physically not being able to go.
I mean, I'm no Goliath. I'm not bound by Goliath customs. When I looked through there, I saw a totem pole on fire. I saw the faces of many dead. I need to go through there at some point, I feel, to gain some form of insight.
Well, it just said that the locked gate, the fallen star has a way of breaking down the barriers to different worlds, that the closer you get to it, the more you see about the true nature of reality.
Well, you yourself said that in order to contact my god, I should find the source or whatever, or how he became a god. What better way to ask and communicate with him than in his own world?
It's possible.
Is there not a way we can potentially utilize the negative energy we saw in Maxoral to somewhat trick, not the rule, but the unlikely return of our beings once we enter?
What do you mean?
Well, negative energy is the antithesis of life. Negative life is a stable way of being, to some extent, which we saw earlier. Maybe if we could find a way to utilize that energy in some way, we could almost meld into the crowd.
Many people have tried, and many people have died doing experiments with different matter that is not native to this world. What it tends to be the result with those experiments is that those people are corrupted or killed or turn into beings which seem to be more placed in those worlds than this one. You could experiment with negative energy, but many people have. And, well, many people are afraid of it.
If anyone could do it, it's probably Gideon. Intelligent little bugger he was.
I do
Well,
not
is.
know this Gideon character, but He seems to have a thirst for knowledge and power, and those things, as Arnax just briefly said, are a quick way to corrupt someone. To lead them to
Gideon's got a good soul.
Yeah, though, the last time that Gideon encountered this kind of matter, he died because he did not want to let go of it. That could very well just repeat itself.
He's also got Aaron with him now. And Illyriel.
And Rainleaf.
And Rainleaf. Thank you, disembodied voice.
Gideon and the gals.
He has a lot of lady friends now.
He does. You know what they say about
What?
Never mind.
You know this.
Big feet.
Guys
Guys with a lot of lady friends.
You know what they say about wands.
I have no idea what they say about wands.
Please.
You know what they say about guys who never want to let go of stuff?
Okay. What were you saying, Gira?
Gentlemen, please, there is work to be done here. It's an unnerving situation we find ourselves in.
Which is why jokes are great. You can't just be bogged down by negativity.
Gothric, if you are not going to take this matter seriously, I'd ask you politely to leave.
I am taking it seriously. I just, if you're taking everything always as dark and depressing, if you're faced with the dark and depressing, you got to show a little bit of light on it, That way, not everything's going to be as bad as they are. You might be tricking yourself, but at least you'll have more determination to get through it.
Pontificating is draining.
I don't know what that word means. We don't have great education in the Grey Mountains.
So just to get us back on track, what is the plan now? Are we heading back to Raventhorpe? Are we heading to Heaven's Falls? Are we heading to the Lock Gate? What did you want to do?
I think the Lock Gate, personally, is where we should go.
I think we need allies if we are to attempt this. We have two options, I see. We could try and persuade what are they called?
Aarakocra.
But you said something else though.
Yeah, I misspoke.
Anyway. Oh, sorry. The Aarakocra or Arnax, I hope you might be willing in some way to stage a bit of a proposal back in Raventhorpe to try and garner the aid of the Goliath. Is there any way they'll see past this tradition and see the urgency of this matter?
Well, yes, I think they will, but they won't be happy about potentially having to go to war with the giants. I mean, Rithzok has tried to make his entire adult life about trying to have a peaceful but separate existence between the two in this mountain region. Going to war is going to feel like a defeat to him.
If we can show evidence to the people, then surely they'll be inclined to see reason and past this pledge.
And what kind of evidence would we have?
I mean, it is possible that all-out war would not be required. I mean, if the giants are being manipulated, perhaps by Ashen.
Actually, use that as an argument.
I don't buy that the giants are helping Ashen at all. I think the giants are about as scared as everyone else.
Arnax, what is the relationship like between the Aarakocra and the Goliath?
Again, they keep to themselves. I have most of the communication between the two. I am trusted by both.
If we were to get the support of the Aarakocra, Is there any chance that would improve the validity of our claim, of our proposition to the Goliath?
It would make a potential war less hard on the Goliaths if there are Aarakocra to join with.
I'm not necessarily advocating for war, simply assistance to retrieve the sword from the locked gate.
Ah, I see. I don't know whether the Goliaths will allow anyone who is not a Goliath to enter the locked gate. That is their choice.
They rather see total annihilation than move on this position.
I don't know what Rithsok would say. I am just trying to point out the fact that they have customs that are usually very set in stone. It is an extraordinary time, and they might change their opinions on the matter, but this is currently what they might think.
Well, my suggestion is we engage both parties to garner support, and if not, we head to the locked gate to retrieve the sword. Does anybody else have any differing ideas or plans?
I think if we chat with Rithsok, we should. But I feel as if asking for us and the Aarakocra to enter as well is harder than just saying us.
I mean, there's a phrase, I believe it mentions permission, asking permission and asking forgiveness that might be relevant here.
How does that saying go? We don't have those kind of things.
It's better to ask forgiveness than to ask permission.
That sounds like a terrible idea.
Well,
I mean, it tends to work out in our experience.
I think it depends what you're doing. If what you are asking permission for is something that you're going to do regardless, then to ask permission is only really to add insult if you then do it anyway.
Which we probably will be doing. I mean, it's very likely. Almost certain, in fact.
Yeah, like we have to consider whether we would we just not do it if he were to take issue?
May I ask, I do not see this point getting anywhere. And Gira turns to Roxon and kind of looks him dead on the eye with the light, the campfire kind of crossing it. Roxon. What would your response be if I suggested that you lead a small group of your faithful to the locked gate, and we do not? What is your opinion on that?
I mean, I'd rather... I mean, you are my faithful at this point. I don't really... not sure who I can trust at the moment at Raventhorpe. It's been so long.
Aidmere?
Yeah, well, my sister, obviously, but I'm not sure I could go with just my sister.
She not know people?
Potentially. We'd have to ask. I imagine there'd be a few people she can name. But I would do it if it meant, stopping all this.
It is an idea that I will not put on you. But if it is one you want to take up, I will certainly support you.
If it has to be done, then I will do it.
Just understand how this might play out with your father, Roxon. If you were to enter the locked gate and take the sword of your ancestral... your ancestral sword.
He'll no doubt be upset, but hopefully once he sees the final outcome, he'll understand.
I think we should go to the locked gate first and return the sword.
Well, we need to get it first.
Personally. Yeah, to get the sword first and then bring it over.
Well, of course we'll return it. But...
Yeah, that's what I mean. Go there first before talking with your father to lessen the anger we would face.
Mugothric, you risk losing the Goliath support for the upcoming war and assault.
We need them.
I don't think... But picture how the Goliaths would respond to refusing support for someone who just brought back the ancestral sword of a hero who unified all of the clans.
Yes, but you just broke one of their rules by going to get it. A sacred rule.
By the sound of it, that rule's there for your own protection, not for...
But they won't be impressed.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes, it's said that anyone who enters the locked gate never comes out.
Right, so...
I have to say, I would rather come out of the locked gate.
Yes, and I think if you're going down there, then, I mean, we're coming with you, right? Like, we're not going to just say, oh, bye, Roxon. Oh, where's Roxon?
I mean, I don't want anyone to die over this, but it's a real possibility we may not come out of that gate. I don't know.
I mean...
I don't think anybody truly knows
how many times has that been a possibility with what we've been through?
I suppose.
We could have died just there. Anthrax came very, very close to dying.
Anthrax?
Anthrax.
What was your name again, Druid friend?
My name is Arnax.
Arnax! That's the one. Arnax.
Orcish alphabet, they're very similar words.
Yes.
I don't know whether to take that as a compliment or a... Okay, so we are to head to the locked gate, are we?
It sounds like it.
Okay, let's take our rest here, and then we will head off to the locked gate when we wake up.
So, what do we once we get the sword? What do we even do? Like, we don't know where Ashen is. Do we just head to Dennis Terrar and just hope we find its use?
I mean, personally, I would suggest we... Wait a second. I just had a thought. Gira mentioned seeing him reforming in this big nest thing in the middle of a forest, right?
Yeah, though there's no guarantee that it would still be there.
If it is, wouldn't that be the right place for the sword?
No.
I only think this place may be where he would always return to.
If I may just jump in to reframe what happened, I'm not sure I entirely agree with that sentiment. I think the clearing was more out of convenience, a safe space for him to reform. It didn't look like he was particularly drawing any energy out of anything I could see. It was simply a pile of maggots reforming and taking advantage of a hapless traveler. I feel it's... Go on.
Was there a crater?
Not that I recall.
No, it's just a clearing in some woods near Vial.
For some reason in my head there was like a crater with the maggots in the center and like...
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like,
I maybe just thinking
yeah, there's a hole in the ground.
Maybe just be thinking of some thing I've seen in media somewhere. Because, no original thoughts.
If I may provide an easier solution, I will simply go to bed and scry on Ashen in the morning and see what has come of him. I managed it once before.
Why don't you do that now?
Because I'm very tired and have no spell slots. And this is yeah, I don't have slot.
Very well. Well, should we go to sleep then?
Sounds like a plan.
Don't worry about taking watches. I have birds who are on the lookout for anyone who might stumble upon us.
Handy.
That's what you have?
Why don't we travel with a druid more often? That's great.
I mean, we did for a while.
The last one. No, I was. Don't ignore me.
What was that?
Nothing.
Well, yeah, we did travel with one for a small while before we met Roxanne, and didn't end well for her.
Well, I'd say she's in a better place now, but she probably isn't.
She could have actually still been with us if we. Well,
I think what we're getting at here.
Cremation's a funny thing.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Nobody could have predicted that she would die like that, and I mean, why would you hold on to your power things or whatever you call them? It just bad luck, I guess. Not because the person that had the ability to bring them back was an idiot and forgot about that. Not their fault at all.
You were there. All right, so Arnax makes the camp up for the night and falls asleep quite quickly, just sort of like suspended in place by his large amount of moss that just sort of cradles him from actually like hitting the ground. Should we take a break here then for 15 minutes? Come back at 9?
Sure. Are we resetting everything? Got all our stuff back, health?
Yeah, let's have a long rest. And then...
Cool.
All right, we'll be back in a bit.
Yeah.
All right, we're back. Right, so before our break, you finished off Maxoral, made your way into the mountains, but with Arnax for a little bit. You're sort of pondering now as you wake up the next day of where you wanted to head next. Did you want to head towards the locked gate to potentially discover the location of this hidden ancestral blade, or Arnax also suggested a couple of other things.
My vote's for the locked gate.
I would just like to raise my voice here that heading to the locked gate without the express permission of the Goliaths is a good way to piss them off. But
I agree. We should go and at least speak to my father first.
I agree. I do not think the long-term consequences are going to be worth it. Utilitarians.
So, then, if we're not going to the locked gate straight away, are we to head to Raventhorpe?
We could either head to Raventhorpe or go to Faldrax, with my earlier idea of speaking to...
Or go or Heaven's Falls as well.
I don't think it would be a good idea to go to Faldrax, considering that, what's the term? Someone who's, the child of the chief of that area. It's not a prince or anything. Seeing as you got into a bit of a scrap with the son of the chief there.
I mean, he may not know about that. We don't know if Ritan ever made it back. He may still be, wandering around somewhere.
Let's say he did, though.
Well, he can explain how he started it.
Yeah, but his father may be more likely to side with him than you. Considering that he is his son.
I digress. Let's go to Raventhorpe then. Fine. We won't talk to him.
I mean, I'm here. I was sent to offer you assistance and to give you insight into the corruption that's been happening in these mountains. But other than anything towards that goal, I am here as your aide. So,
well, what would you recommend then?
I myself personally want to check out Heaven's Falls. I feel that the Aarakocra should at least be warned of the corruption that is going on.
Let's go do that then. Let's warn the Aarakocra.
It will add another day until we get back to Raventhorpe.
Is there any way that Roxon potentially would be the best person to approach his father in Raventhorpe? We potentially could go to Heaven's Fall while he does that.
I don't think my dad likes me very much
I don't suppose there's a teleportation circle in Raventhorpe. I forgot to ask when I was there.
We don't have a culture of arcane magic users. So unfortunately not.
Fair enough.
You can feel free to set one up for us though if you have the opportunity.
Oh yeah. All it'll take is a year of my life and a lot of gold. But yeah, maybe some point in the future. Maybe for Roxon's 50th birthday present.
No, thanks.
How old are you? 18, 14, 26? I don't know.
Excuse me.
Well, it's kind of hard to tell, right?
I'm 35.
Oh. Okay.
How old do you think I am?
Old.
Oh, well, what does he look like? How old does he look?
It's quite hard to really tell. He has so much stuff on him and his face. He has a very thick grey beard. He does seem a bit wrinkled underneath the...
82.
150?
These are
What
all
race-
interesting.
Race are you?
I am a human.
Oh.
Probably not 150 then.
I mean, don't druids get like special anti-aging magic?
Is that true?
Some do.
Are you one of them?
Well, I don't feel like I've had any anti-aging magic, but no, this will be my 60th year this week.
Oh,
Oh, congratulations.
that's a big one.
I know.
I thought you were older, I must say.
Roxanne, maybe you can kill some giants for him.
Ah, yes.
We will. It sounds like we're
One for
going
each
that way.
year.
It sounds like we're heading that way, so I'm sure he'll get his wish.
60 giant heads on the cake.
That's going to be a big cake.
Okay, so Arnax starts to walk you
Depends
off
on the giant.
into the mountains. Is there anything you wanted to talk about whilst you were walking?
Are there any customs of the Aarakocra we should be aware of, not to cause offence?
Try not to relieve yourself around them.
I'll try. I can do that.
Kira, you look like a young human again. All of a sudden.
Sorry, I accidentally put that.
I will also try not to wee around the Aarakocra.
That's how we say hello in the Grey Mountains.
If I may, just have a quick word with Skirmisher as we walk up the path.
Mhm.
Cool.
Skirmisher.
Yes.
After listening to Arnak's tale, and I'd completely forgot that the fall of the Kiara Concord happened 500 years ago. And, it reminded me of our dealings in Vienna with Melindra. I just can't help but feel that there's a lot happened 500 years ago. Seem to overlap a little bit.
Do you think the two are linked?
I do. If the letter we got from the Ruzatar is to be believed, at least. But I'm entirely sure past that.
Perhaps the Kara Concord were involved in wiping this out the last time that it came and were all but wiped out themselves?
Although the comets Arnak spoke of, he said that a great battle took place in the sky. That happened potentially those comets were not necessarily comets. Eventually.
It's an interesting theory.
Just something to ponder.
Yeah. I'm getting the sense that we may begin to witness battles on a scale that we're not accustomed to.
Are you prepared?
I think anyone that ever says they're truly prepared for something like that is probably a little foolhardy.
Agree with your response.
Don't think you can ever really be prepared for that kind of thing. I mean, in a battle, there's always a loser. Well, usually. And there's, if there's two sides and usually a loser, then it's quite often that people aren't prepared, I guess, unless you're just prepared to lose.
Well, great learning could be found in loss. Point stands. I just keep in mind Aaron Shandor, Kara Concord, and we go.
Yeah. I mean, if at some point we are able to go and find him, he might have some information about it. I mean, if he was around at the time, then Well, I mean, I guess I was around at the time, technically, but not really aware of anything at the time.
Beginning to think that might expand to me too, eventually.
You think that you were that old?
I don't know. I don't have any confirmation, but there's an inkling or a nudge, dream or a whisper in the wind.
Wasn't really aware the Dragonborn got that old. But I suppose then again, we've not exactly had a great deal of dealings with them.
I'm not sure I'm 500. I can't. I just feel like, I don't know. Ignore me. Let's move on. We don't dwell on this important job to do in the present, not 500 years ago.
Yeah. Alright, well, that's certainly food for thought.
Cool.
Okay, so Arnex takes you through the mountains again via his strange paths that he has managed to discover in the course of the mountains. Traveling at speed, you eventually come across like a quite wooded area with a few like natural springs bubbling up and sort of creating streams that sort of run by your feet as you walk by them. Like a few like, mountain flowers and a few like high up trees begin to spontaneously sort of like, not spontaneous, just like begin to gradually just get more in depth as you get further and further into this sort of wooded area. You looking around, Arnax seems a bit off. Like he's like looking at all the trees, like with this quite strange look to them, like inspecting all the leaves and sort of comparing them to other leaves that he has like in his bag, and peeling off bark and sort of casting a little spell to like turn it into dust, and then just like feeling the dust on his fingers, and he's going, "Curious, what is that?"
What are you doing?
It is the woods around these parts. They are saying something strange.
What are they saying?
It is hard to make out. It doesn't really sound like words. It sounds more like, and I hate to put it like this, it sounds more like crying.
Oh, like what kind of crying? Like adult crying or child crying?
How can you tell the difference?
Well, you spend enough time around, other living beings, you tend to notice a change in crying as people get older or younger.
Right, well, imagine these trees. When is a tree an adult? When is it a child? How could I tell the difference between a child tree crying and an adult one crying? Anyway, they're all crying. There's a lot of crying going on. They seem to be mourning. But I'm not sure why.
If I may, are the leaves... Is it just ones localized in this area?
It seems to be.
Trees, rather. And this area is... We've traveled so fast, so quickly.
Well, we are coming into Heaven's Falls now. This is where a lot of the rivers and streams in this area originate.
Seen this before?
Well, I am wondering if this is part of the corruption of the mountains. That there seems to be a slight discoloration in the life of these trees. Something about them seems a bit off. And added to the crying, there's also a warning to stay away.
Follow. It'd be one wise to not listen to the local inhabitants of the area.
What does everyone else think?
I think it's fine.
I don't know, I've never really been particularly in tune with nature.
Well, he like looks at you and just laughs and he says,
I know, ironic, I guess.
I guess we should continue on then.
Well, hold on a moment. Could we potentially inform the Goliath that there is something amiss and ask for reinforcements? I fear what would happen if we walk into something unpleasant in Heaven Falls.
That might be a smart move.
I'm inclined to agree.
Seems that a lot is going on. We should swing north to Raventhorpe then.
So we're going to Raventhorpe, and then coming back here, and then going back to Raventhorpe.
Well, not necessarily. I mean, I don't know how the Goliath like to deal with the Aarakocra of the region, but I think they are in the best place to potentially deal with that problem.
Okay, let's head north then. I am worried about what's happened here. But it would not be wise to walk into a trap. Okay, so Arnax takes you north, and towards the end of the night, towards the end of the day, as the night begins to fall, you enter back into the town of Raventhorpe. The inhabitants, milling about, just drinking on the streets, talking to each other. There's occasional drumming of skin drums that people are banging. What would you like to do?
Roxon?
Yes.
Do you think you could... I know you're not on good terms with your father. I think it is wise that we try to seek another meeting with him.
I could try. Certainly, whether he'll listen. He's a stubborn old bastard, so whether he'll listen to me is the question. But I'll certainly give it a go.
I, of course, defer to you in this matter, for you are the child of this region.
Well, we can certainly try talking to him. Failing that, I have one idea, but we'll see.
Please feel free to share the idea.
We go to Eadmere instead. And we ask her for help. And if there's anyone that can help us, and we'll go as a smaller party.
Should probably have to ask your father for permission as well, right?
Well, this is the issue. It'd probably be going behind his back, if she agrees.
Well,
Then wouldn't it be better if you went to your father, if you're trying to make amends and repair that?
Well, that's what I'm saying. There's two options. I either go to see my father, potentially get rejected, and then he'll know that we're up to something. Or we go straight to Eadmere, and we ask for her help instead. And then, if she agrees, we go behind my father's back without telling him anything. Up to you.
Arnax,
Yes.
is it likely that the king will agree to help the Aarakocra?
Not without proof that something has happened.
Would your testimony be sufficient?
I am certainly able to testify that there has been a widespread corruption in these lands, and it seems to be more affected closer to the giants than it is to us currently. So, arguing that this will only continue to get worse unless the Goliaths take some sort of control in the situation, I think that he might be persuaded.
Well, let's give it a go then.
Okay.
Well,
See what the old man says.
there is also the issue of the sword in the locked gate.
That we can ask that after we see about this.
Yes.
Agreed.
Maybe not put too many things on his plate at once.
Agreed.
Okay, so Arnax takes you up to the main keep in the centre of the town, situated on the sort of hill with the moat around it. Taking you across the drawbridge and into the main part of the keep, that you see Rithsock, just sort of sitting in his chair, getting ready for night. He's like eating from like a large tray of just basically dried meats that have been sort of spread out in front of him. He's just sort of like picking at it. As he sees you come in, he says, "Ah, you're back from Magsaral."
Yes,
Yep.
Father. And we bring bad news of the situation.
Bad news. How come I only figured as much when you would return?
Well, basically, we went there. A lot of bad corruption stuff going on down there. That needs looking at. On our way back through, we thought to
Richard, can you not breathe into the microphone?
Oh, sorry.
It's okay.
Adding to the ambulance is fine. Where was I? On our way back through, we back to here to obviously report back to you. We went through Heaven's Falls to check on the Aarakocra, and we think something's happened to them. We don't know what, but we came here to ask for aid before we go back there to check.
You wish to help the Aarakocra?
Yes.
And what purpose would that serve?
If I may, Gira hobbles forward with his walking stick. We believe that the whole region is in peril from what is going on. If you do not band together with the inhabitants of the region, you stand less chance of succeeding.
I see. I see. And Dragonborn, where did you learn to rule?
I am simply just an advisor, my king. I do not profess to be the ruler, simply to be someone who is advising.
Well,
I, however, am a ruler, and I totally agree with him.
Now.
So Roxon, my son, how many men would you need for such a incursion?
Well, again, we don't know exactly what we're dealing with, but maybe 5 strong men.
5 strong men.
Good warriors.
Very well. Aidmir will also go. And she will report back to me. And you watch as Aidmir sort of nods. Says, very well. Tell me what has happened to the Terrafolk. And...
The Aarakocra.
I keep saying that. Aarakocra. Tell me what's happened to the Aarakocra and Tomb of Annihilation, man.
Yeah, I'm getting flashbacks.
Tell me what's happened to the Aarakocra and report back. Is there anything else you need?
I think that's all we require for now.
Very well. I had thought about inviting you for a conversation at some point.
I will be more than happy to attend, but perhaps after this mission, as it is quite urgent.
Very well. At least stay the night whilst you're here. It is not worth heading back into the mountains when there is somewhere comfortable here.
I look around. Roxanne looks at everyone. Agreed. We stay the night.
It would be rude to refuse such wonderful hospitality.
I agree.
Very well.
We will stay the night.
Okay. Alright, so Rithsok sort of stands and nods, and he sort of talks to a couple of advisors who hurry off. He says, "I will have the men you require by the morning. Goodbye."
Thank you for that.
He slams his staff 3 times, and the doors open again to get back outside the door.
Oh, that was tense.
As you're heading out, Rithsok says, "Arnax," and Arnax says, "Yes, my chief." And he says, "Can I just speak with you for a moment?" And the two sort of walk off to the side. But you guys head out.
Can I scry on them?
You would have to find somewhere where you can cast it without being spotted.
Is that going to take too long?
It may well do, because it takes a minute to cast scrying anyway, doesn't it? I mean, you can give it a try, but you're going to have to rush off and then find somewhere to scry and.
Yeah, go on then. Let's do it.
It takes 10 minutes to cast.
Oh, okay. There's no point then. Sorry, it's my fault. I should have checked. So, okay.
He was incredibly nosy.
Yeah. It's going to take 10 minutes, but as you're sort of heading out, you just see them go into the side room. But what do you guys want to do?
Pub.
Roxanne, before the indulgences of the evening take place, may I just take a moment of your time?
Of course.
How are you doing after that encounter?
What of my father?
Yes.
Surprisingly okay. That went much better than I thought it would. I thought he was just going to turn around and say no. But no, he's agreed to lend us the men. So, that's a good result. Bit nervous about telling him about the whole lock gate thing. I don't think that's going to go down quite as well.
About that, this is why I just wanted a quick word.
Mm-hmm.
You could potentially use this opportunity in Heaven's Fall to have a conversation with Aidmere, the necessity of our operation, gauge the mood, as it were.
See what Aidmere thinks first. Is what you're saying.
Not one for now, but I can see them. I don't want to cause suspicions. I'll join. Just something to think about.
I could speak to her while we're on our travels and see what she thinks.
Very well.
But like I said, let's not put too much on my father's plate all at once. Don't exactly want to now turn around to him and tell him, well, actually now we want to go into our sacred burial ground in order to retrieve a sword in order to stop a man made of maggots.
Relax. You have plenty of time for that. This is a medium term.
Yes, I understand.
So you make your way over to the sort of large beer tent type place in Raventhorpe, which is this huge sort of gazebo type thing made of tanned leathers to keep the rain out, with rows and rows and rows of chairs and tables with people drinking and sort of wrestling with each other and chucking food all over the place. You sort of notice that it's quite busy. There's a few people around, and as you sit down at a space at the table, you see a couple of people whispering, a couple of people looking up and sort of checking you out. And then after about a minute, you feel a tap on your shoulder and you hear Aidmere behind you saying, "Ah, brother."
Ah, Aidmere, have you come to join us?
I have. And she sort of slides next to you.
Yes, pull up a chair, grab a drink.
Oh, I've come prepared.
Fantastic. I have to say I have missed this place.
Would any of you like some fermented goat's milk?
I do.
Sure, I've never tried this fermented goat's milk.
We also, I also have some fermented mammoth milk as well, but that's usually too strong for newcomers. Let's see how you do with this one.
I would like to try the mammoth milk.
Goffric. That's strong
I'm
stuff.
kind of leaning across the table. I would like to try the mammoth milk.
Let him try
Nothing
the
is
mammoth
too
milk.
strong for me.
He's stubborn. Just let him try it.
Okay, and she reaches into one of her furs and sort of pulls out like a big drinking horn with like a plug on the end, and she sort of pops it off and sort of hands it over to you, and just you can just feel the stink radiating off it. It just smells like really strong cheese.
I give it a big old swig.
All right, make a Constitution saving throw.
Okay. Hang on.
The suspense is killing.
Suspense is actually murdering me right now. I'm dying from the suspense.
I'm going to lucky. No, wait, no, indomitable that. Indomitable.
Okay.
Reroll. Haha. Hang on.
Oh.
Fuck.
It's even worse.
Can you lucky an indomitable roll?
Can I?
I think Roy, you can. I'll allow it. Actually, fuck it. No. The second it hits your gullet, you just can't help but just spew up all over yourself.
No.
And you hear a few people around you jeer and go, "Hey!" And Aidmir's like, "See, told you." And then she says, "Wash it down with some of the fermented goat milk." And that one is more like a sort of alcoholic Yakult, which is absolutely fucking disgusting.
I blame the fact that I haven't had a drink in a long time.
Yeah, blame it on that.
So, we're heading to Heaven's Falls.
We are, in order to check on the Aarakocra.
I never took you as someone with a soft heart for the bird folk.
They're a necessity for what might be coming.
Boxon probably is more wondering what they taste like when they're cooked. At least
That
I am.
as well.
Well, I am. I mean, so you have a plan.
We have a plan. We will explain more of what the plan is, maybe when there's less ears around.
Usually the plan is to improvise, but we do have an actual plan this time.
Usually we do just go in and rush into things, but actually this time we thought about it.
Oh no, it's brilliant. We're growing as people.
Well, do you not trust your brothers around you to keep a secret?
It's one that I would rather they didn't know for now. But we'll probably find out later.
You're keeping me in suspense. I'm very interested to learn.
I will tell you when we're on the road.
I knew when you came back to this tribe you'd fit right back in. Why did it take you so long,
What, to come back?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, if it weren't for the whole Rickon thing, I probably wouldn't have come back. If I'm honest. But
He really hurt your self-esteem, did he?
well, no, it's what he said really worried me, and it made me concerned for the clan. It's a good thing I did come back because there are issues. But
There were issues 10 years ago as well.
Speaking of Rickon, do you know if he is back in Foldrax yet?
I have heard that he is not currently there, but he has returned in the last week and left again.
Probably best avoid Foldrax. Or can continue to avoid Foldrax.
Well, it's only a matter of time before news gets around to Foldrax that you returned, and if Reldon, I remembered his name, if Reldon has a grudge to harbour against you, he is going to continue to harbour that grudge. Maybe you should face your fears and go meet him.
Less of a fear, it's more I just don't want to start a war between the tribes, but maybe my absence of not seeing him could cause a war.
What do you think the best thing to do is?
Cause a war.
I, maybe against my better judgment, do think I should go see him, because they could prove to be a valuable ally if we play our play our cards right with them. But on the other hand, he may just kill me on sight. It's sort of a
challenge him to trial by combat. That's what I did.
You've not met Uncle Reldon. I don't really want to fight Uncle Reldon.
Does he have eyes that shoot disintegration beams all over his body as well?
I mean, he might know. I don't know. No, but he has an axe the size of you. So,
I would like very much to see that axe. That sounds like quite a sight. Do you think you could hold that axe? Are you strong enough to hold that axe?
Yeah, I could hold that axe. Have you seen the size of my axe? It's not much smaller than you.
You know, I haven't really paid much attention. It's usually buried in the flesh of our enemies.
Yes, it is. Drink to that skull.
Skull. Or you hear like 100 Goliaths just all drinking.
They all shout skull or something, do they?
Yep.
Yeah, I think Othric might have a point actually. I think your axes might be a little smaller than his.
Oh, don't start this again.
But you know what they say about men with big axes?
What do they say about women with big axes?
Yeah.
Gothric.
Don't fuck with them.
There you go. So we are to ride into battle tomorrow.
We are. Well, potentially into battle. Depends on what we find.
I mean, your father might be more happy if you were to just conquer the tribe.
Wait, are we speaking of the Aarakocra or Foldrax?
Yeah, the Aarakocra. Bring them into the fold.
I mean, that would be good, but I'm not one for the diplomatic approach, but...
I don't think that's This is Matt. I don't think that's the diplomatic approach, right?
No, I mean, yeah, I mean, it's
in Goliath culture, it's super diplomatic.
Yeah.
By that I meant trying to peacefully talk to them.
You're right.
But, I mean, I'm not one for the diplomatic approach, so I probably will.
Roxon, imagine the poems. Imagine the sagas that people will tell about Roxon and his band of men who single-handedly conquered the Aarakocra. That would be a way to bring your name back in the tribe.
And also imagine the mountains of corpses of innocent men, women, and children
these
that
guys
paid the price for it.
These guys really aren't all the conquesting type. I mean, they won't go for that.
If I don't recall, Gothric, you said sometimes these things are justified. Not that I'm endorsing this action plan.
I thought Gira was about to be on side for that, and I was going to be shocked. Scrimshaw, I doubt you would approve of this action either.
Just shakes his head.
I think we're going to have to try to talk to them. Now, if they attack us, that's different. Because
if they put us in a self-defense situation.
Because what Scrimshaw's made me realise is if they attack us first, I can use all my strength to destroy them. That's what Scrimshaw said to me, so...
yeah, close enough.
You did? You said that?
I mean, I think that was one specific situation.
I'm sure Mona would be fine with us conquesting them as well. Yes!
Joanne, cool.
Aidmir's like, well, I suppose you're taking the lead on this one, so it's your decision, ultimately. But I'm just trying to give you ways back into the tribe, get your father's approval.
In another time, I would have been straight in there to chop off some bird heads. But I'm not sure if the slaughtering, conquesting technique is going to work well here. But
I
we'll
mean,
never know when until we get there.
if we're looking for allies and making sure that the Aarakocra are alright, then surely chopping them into little bits is a terrible idea.
Yeah, I mean, for all we know, we could get there, and it's just going to be a load of giants eating chicken. For all we know, but we won't know until we get there. If it is a bunch of giants, then fantastic. I'm all for slaughtering the giants.
It's just, if we do get there and they ask us to go to a specific mountain for special flowers, then we just don't go. We just don't go there.
I agree. If they want some sort of peace flower thing, we will...
We'll have to ask if it's alive first, is what I'm saying.
We have bad records with plants.
You don't, you weren't there.
I've been there for a couple of murderous plants. That was the underwater murderous plant.
I was more referring to the Oracle, who was looking for that special vision flower.
Well, I don't know anything about that, but I remember specifically nearly being eaten by a big flower under the water. Anyway.
What is it with flowers?
Anyway, let's drink up and eat. We will talk of conquest tomorrow.
Very well. Is there anything you guys wanted to do for the rest of the night?
I don't know. Does Aidmir go off to have a drink at one point? I just want to quickly remind the party or something.
Yeah, she's going off chatting to a whole bunch of people. She casually just flirts with everyone in the sort of beer hall.
Sometimes glares at her as she goes around.
She just winks at you and laughs.
You're not getting protective there, Roxanne, are you?
She's my sister, of course I'm protective.
But you haven't seen her in many years, and like you said...
Can people stop reminding me of this?
Well, if you insist.
But it's true, you haven't seen her in many years.
I know.
Almost
I've been reminded of that. What?
Almost like a stepsister at this point.
Oh no!
Oh my god!
Turn the stream off.
Really?
No!
Campaign is done. I'm done. Right.
I can just imagine the rule 34.
Oh!
No. Don't get any ideas, Matt.
Okay, so yeah, what do you want to say?
I do not think we. Hold on, I need to remember that in place. I do not think we should trust Faldrax at all. The village.
I would be inclined to agree.
We know that. We know that Ashen was with your cousin, which suggests to me there are dealings going on between Faldrax and the Giants. I think we
potentially, but that means we have another enemy to deal with.
But also good news, as Aidmir said, you can get your name back in the tribe by conquering.
Well, no, I would suggest just leaving them be for now.
Faldrax are not a easy take. I can assure you of that. They're mean warriors.
You need to give them as little information as we possibly can on what we know. If they get any whiff that we are involved in any sense of the word, could jeopardize the mission.
Are you saying I should keep things from my sister?
How much do you trust her?
With my life?
How many men here do you trust with your life?
As it stands, none.
Well, I'm just concerned if your sister starts talking to people, including the king. And if news gets out,
the only other person I trust is my father. For what it's worth. I know he doesn't like me, but he's still my father.
I think we'd speak to Aidmir about it still, but just we want to keep away from that place. It's a trap. Hey, I don't want to lower the mood. It is a drinking party after all, and
This
fermented goat's milk isn't going to drink itself. Skull!
Yes. Skull!
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 The whole place again says Okay, so the rest of the night progresses with you getting progressively drunker and drunker on fermented goat's milk. The next morning comes, and you are woken up bright and early, nursing your hangovers by Aidmir, sort of patting you on the head and saying, like, "Come on, big brother, let's get up."
Fine.
Just
like,
making sure I wake up hungover again. Am I surrounded by blood and corpses this time?
No. You all sort of you all woke up at Aidmir's house. Like, you'd all stumbled back at the dead of night and just collapsed in a pile. Except for Scrimshaw, who was just like, "What the fuck?"
Just like sat next to the pile, just to feel like he fits in.
Yeah. Aidmir says, "I want to introduce you to," and she like sort of holds her hand open and opens the door, and 4 Goliath warriors walk in. They all look fairly similar to Roxxon, to be fair. Like, not to be racist, but Goliaths tend to have quite a similar style.
Oh, whoa!
Whoa!
The difference is that Roxxon's sort of like tattoos across his face are like a bit darker and sort of like more numerous, whilst these ones have like just a few less. But they all seem quite accomplished in their work. Aidmir says, "This is Gadak and Alfak and Pugak and Radek." So there you go. That's the one.
I was about to say, could you chuck that in the chat?
Is there anything that kind of like differentiates? Oh yeah, sorry.
Yes. Well, I mean, Gadak is like carrying like a massive, sort of like 2-handed sword on his back. He also has his beard in like all these different kinds of braids, almost more like a druid style, with like loads and loads of different colored beads, holding them together with like sort of runic writing on them. Not a druid style, like a Mistran, sort of like dwarven style. Laufak has 2 like hand axes. Pugak has a massive battle axe on his back, similar to Aidmir and Roxxon. And Radek is actually carrying like a large sort of halberd type glaive. But other than that, you can tell them apart fairly easily after a while. But they also sort of like nod, and Gadak speaks up and says, "It is an honor to serve the chief of the son of the chief." Aidmir sort of like nudges you and says, "So, Roxxon, where are we heading?"
Heavens Falls.
Yes. Arnak said he would be here. And you're like, she's looking around. He probably overslept. Let me go get him. And she sort of runs off.
So, what's your best kill?
Gadak sort of says, "I once, well, not to boast, but once killed a mammoth."
That's quite an achievement, right, guys?
What about you, Laufak?
Oh, well, my greatest kill was actually, it was a troll in the mountains. It was when I was 6 years old.
Impressive.
Pugak.
I'm just imagining all these people lying.
You can't tell. That's the best part. Puyak is like, oh yeah, well, you were 6 when you killed your first troll. I was actually 5 when I killed my first. But it wasn't just a troll; it was a troll and an entire clan of goblins that lived in the mountains.
Impressive.
Radek.
Radek's like, I mean, they're all just killing things, it's just the same, innit?
Well, but what's the best?
You know, what's like the biggest thing?
The biggest.
Yeah.
The biggest.
I killed a large duck once.
How large?
Hey man.
Like a horse size.
Horse-sized duck.
Yeah.
Were there also multiple duck-sized horses
No, that would be ridiculous.
nearby, and you had to pick which one to fight?
No, that would be ridiculous.
No, it would be.
Yeah, way easier fight though, right? Like if it were.
I mean, would it be?
What kind of threat did this duck possess? Could it like breathe fire?
Well, I don't really. Thinking about it now, I'm not sure it was a duck. It was more like an owl.
Was it like an owl but looked a bit like a bear as well?
Yeah, that was it. That was the one.
So
No.
it wasn't.
Huh?
Killed an owl bear.
You not heard of an owl bear before?
I mean, I just thought all birds were ducks.
I like
Okay,
you,
so
Radek.
this village we're
You're
going
great.
to, just to clarify, these are not ducks that we're going to see. These are bird people, not duck people.
I mean, ducks are birds.
If you see something with wings, don't just start swinging.
Yes.
Unless if it is an actual horse-sized duck.
Only start swinging when I start swinging.
You're starting to realise that these people that Rithsok has sent are not the finest warriors in the tribe.
I feel like my father's taking the piss.
Why? These are the bravest men I've ever seen. Specifically,
this man doesn't
Radek.
know what a duck is.
Can Gira like sneak away and like, I don't know, scry on Arnex?
Yeah. Yeah, you just like go off into another room and begin scrying. After your cast is done, you see yeah, just you see Arnax. So, alright, hang on. Let me just do a. What's the DC on it?
Is affected by whether you have certain things.
Yeah. I'm just gonna have a look. Okay, so you've met the target. You know the target well. Okay, so that's gonna be -5. So. Oh yeah, it's definitely gonna fail. Okay, so yeah, so you close your eyes and begin meditating, and you're sort of sat back on the top of that sort of mountain with the storm raging around you, and you sort of focus and look in sort of deeper within yourself, and your consciousness shifts to like a little hut that's on the outskirts of the village with, you know, a bunch of sort of a bunch of like heads of animals and furs and sort of like flowers and plants that have like weaved themselves around in vines of this hut. You see the front door of this hut has swung open, and Arnax is asleep on the bed. And you hear like the crunching of leaves as Aidmir is like rushing up to the hut, and she sort of like knocks on the door and says, "Arnax, come on, you overslept." She steps in, and Arnax doesn't move, and she says, "Arnax," steps a bit closer. "Arnax," he's like shakes him a bit. Huh? And she like sort of flips him over, and her hand comes back, and it's completely red with blood, and she's like, "Oh, gods, by the gods." Alright. She like pulls her axe out and she says, "Is there anyone around? Come out if there is." And she, this stood there. She says, "He has not stopped. He has not stopped bleeding. He is still breathing. For anyone who has tried to kill him, you have failed." And you hear a shifting from behind the hut, and she like looks up. She says, "Who is it?" And stepping around through the doorway is Ritan, who says, "Hello, Admir." And she says, "Ritan, did you kill Arnax?" And he says, "No, I would not possibly do that. He is the druid of this mountains." And Admir says, Don't mess with me, Ritan. I will kill you." And you watch as stepping around the corner as well as Ritan is Ashen, who is like fully formed back into the same form as he was when you met him before, including the white face mask and cloak. And he sort of vibrates as he speaks to Admir. He says, "Hello, Admir. I wanted to meet you for so long." And then that's when Ashen looks up at right at where your consciousness is like scrying, and sort of goes, "Eyes. Very well." And he like waves his hands, and it just dispels.
Gira like immediately kind of breaks from his stupor and kind of runs to the party, and it's kind of on his walking stick. And he doesn't stop the party, but he kind of goes out of the hut, or where are we? Kind of specifically.
You're at Admir's house at the moment. It's probably like a 10-minute walk to Arnax's.
And Gira kind of comes out. He says, "I fear we are too late. Your
What?
sister has been taken. Come.
Where?
Ashen, he has come.
Where is she? Where was she taken?
The hut. Come on."
Ah!
I'm gonna roll the carpet out and go there hoverboard style.
Okay, are you going to break ahead of the party?
Can I come with you?
No, I'll stick with the party.
Okay, so running. It takes you probably about 5 minutes to get there. When you get to Arnax's hut, you see that the hut is open. Arnax is Arnax is gone, as well as Admir is also gone.
Can I cast Revivify, or is it too late?
No, Arnax is like not there. He's not on the bed, but you see there's blood on the bed.
He's not. Is there any item here that looked like it had been knocked down on the floor for like a scuffle or anything?
Make an investigation check.
Specifically Arnax's, I'm looking for, really.
Yeah.
I'd like to help.
Just like something that like his stick or his thing he held with him.
Oh right. Well, I mean, like he has stuff in this room. Like this is his hut. Like he's got loads of his own personal stuff in it.
Okay. I was gonna, and we can do this for next session, but I was gonna do legend lore to see if we can glean what that conversation with the king was like in the evening.
Yeah, legend lore is only like for historically relevant items.
Okay.
Remember.
So I can't just do it on something.
Yeah,
okay.
But we'll end the session there. So you're at the hut. Like they have disappeared. They might be 5 minutes run away. They might have teleported away. You're not sure. But yeah, all right, we'll stop.
Shit.
Oh.
Yeah, thanks for coming. Yeah.